Hey guys, this is FluteGirl2406 here, giving you a brand new Thomas & Friends review. Since winter is here and Christmas is drawing closer, I thought of reviewing a couple of episodes before Christmas Day, such as Love Me Tender, Letters to Santa, and Last Train for Christmas, because I feel like there's a lot to talk about within those episodes. So let's kick this off with my review on Love Me Tender. So what's the story? The story is Snow has arrived early on the island of Sodor, and Donald and Douglas are to clear the tracks across the island. Throughout the day, however, they get into arguments on which route they should take, which leads into a tug-of-war. This strain and falling out leads to Douglas losing his tender, and Donald doesn't even realize this until Thomas tells him about it. Donald then sets off to the rescue to find his twin brother. Donald eventually finds his brother, who is stuck in the snow, and he shunts Douglas to the steamworks. In the end, Donald and Douglas happily get back together again. This isn't a bad story. I think the strong point in this episode is the relationship between Donald and Douglas, and I actually like how it is portrayed. Donald and Douglas have a falling out, and even though there's no moral presented, it just shows how sibling relationships work. Siblings tend to argue and sometimes have a falling out, but in the end, they get back together again. Davey Moore does a good job of presenting the falling out and recovery. It really makes the relationship between Donald and Douglas a lot stronger. I also like how there are some references to the Railway series, such as the way Donald and Douglas are clearing the snow. It's the same how it's illustrated in Deputation. Another thing to point out is some of the dialogue is also the same as the Deputation, such as
Snow had come early to the island of Sodor. It was heavier than usual.
Snow came early to the island of Sodor. It was heavier than usual.
just really shows that the writers and animators really do their research, character history as well as relationships. Now for the minor characters. I'm kind of mixed about it. Having Toby in the episode actually does serve a purpose because he does help Douglas' driver and fireman, and later they have Coco together. He also sees a relationship strain between the twins. I do wish he had an appearance at the end to see that they eventually made up. I also wish he gave Douglas advice about the meaning of having a sibling, since Toby actually does have a brother in the Railway series, and it would have been a nice brief mention. However, the character that I'm really mixed about is Thomas's role. I do understand that Thomas saw Donald pulling Douglas's tender twice, but the first time he sees it, it's just clueless and the scene is just pointless. However, when he sees Donald the second time, he realizes that he is pulling Douglas's tender. Why didn't Thomas tell him about this the first time? In fact, how come the signalman did not stop Donald when he was puffing away with Douglas's tender? And this is where I come to one of the biggest problems with this episode. The engines choosing which route they want to take. This may be just me nitpicking, but it just happens so much that I question the role of the signalman. I understand that this does serve a reason for a plot. It sometimes bothers me that the engines can still go wherever they want without alerting the signalman. My only assumption as to why this is that the signalman overhears them and changes the points for them. This can lead to some minor good points, such as Donald wanting to clear the line for the search and rescue center. But again, it's just weird seeing that the engines can still choose whichever route they want. Another problem I have is Donald's voice. I don't understand the sudden change. In Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure, both Donald and Douglas had the same voice, and when Joe Mills posted his birthday video to Thomas fans on Twitter, he was still doing both voices. So what happened? Why did it change? I don't think the change is necessary, and since Donald and Douglas are twins, I actually do prefer them to have the same voices, similar as to how Bill and Ben are twins and have the same voices. I don't know whether the show wanted to tell them apart even more, but they have numbers on the tenders, so it shouldn't be that confusing to tell who is who, especially compared to Bill and Ben, where I can barely read their nameplates. There are, however, still some really good points in this episode, such as the snow animation by ARC Productions. It seems that each year they get better and better with snow animation, as well as the lighting. I really love the weather and lighting in the final scene of the episode. And the music by Chris Renshaw is absolutely amazing and awesome. I just love Donald and Douglas's theme in this season. It's extremely catchy and memorable. So what are my final thoughts on this episode? Is it the best episode of Season 20? Well, not entirely, since Season 20 isn't even finished yet. Now, as I said, there are a couple of problems in this episode, but I honestly think this is a really good episode, and one of the best roles Donald and Douglas have had since the Deputation. It's a good returning episode for them, and if you haven't seen the episode, I would definitely say it's worth a watch for this winter season. On that note, thank you all for watching my review. Leave a comment on your thoughts on the episode and review in the comment section below, and hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. This is FluteGirl2406 signing out.